Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Sports Teams Go! Do. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ryan.
And we do not have Vaughn this week.
Nope, Vaughn's not able to join us this week, unfortunately.
But it's alright. We will be able to go on to next week. We try getting this out to you no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's get into this. What's the first one you have?
First one on mine is my matchup.
Alright, let's do yours then.
Okay.
So, first one is Buck the Chronicles versus Sloths Incorporated.
Me and Patty. Finally get to play Patty. Interesting matchup.
You have Roethlisberger in there?
I got Cam Newton on bye finally, so unfortunately I didn't see really that much on the waiver wire that I wanted to roll with, so I'm just gonna have to basically roll with him.
I mean,
the one bright side I'm looking at is at least if Antonio Brown scores, Roethlisberger scores with him.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that argument. Roethlisberger has not been good this year.
He's not. But, even with him, he was terrible in the first half last week. He had, 30 yards and a pick. He still finished with 20 points because, it was Indianapolis, and he was able to get some points in the second half. But, yeah, I don't have much faith in him.
Matt Ryan could do something, though, with Seattle losing literally every single person on that team.
Yeah, they have so much, talent there, but, yeah, they're losing some of their main guys, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep up with it, because they traded away Jeremy Lane earlier in the year, too. They're getting weak on corner now.
That was so stupid. Roethlisberger just scares me, to be quite honest.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that much faith in him. I played him once this year, and he got, 8 points, and it was garbage, so.
I'm stealing the stat from another person, but when Roethlisberger's been pressured all year, his QB rating is 5.
That's pretty bad.
It's 5. It's in single digits. He should retire at the end of this year.
Yeah. I don't know how the Steelers are 7-2 with him.
Oh, dude.
I don't understand it. Their defense their defense is good. It's not even that great.
Yeah.
They're just finding ways to squeak out wins. I don't understand how they're doing it.
Heather's team and Ross's team, the couple, they could have quarterbacks next year, new quarterbacks. Roethlisberger probably will retire, and Eli looks like he's on his way out.
Yeah, Eli might be done.
That would be interesting. That would be something for them to talk about, like a date night or something.
Or, they could talk about how she got really lucky and beat me last week because Freeman got a concussion. But, no big deal.
That's true.
I was so pissed.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I lost by 2 yards. That sucks. 2 yards.
I was hoping there would be a stat correction in your favor.
Dude, I was hoping so much that, they changed, a pitch play from Cam Newton on the day to, a pass or something. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case.
It's all right. Well, it's the, you got your spot in the playoffs, so I'm sure you should.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Looking towards running backs this week, Ingram's been literally, I think, the top running back since Adrian Peterson's been out.
Yeah, I would probably say he's one of the best running backs in the league to play right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Every week he's had 20 points, right? Around there.
Yeah, he's had a touchdown, I think, every single week since Peterson's been trained.
Last week was 3 touchdowns?
Yeah,
and 100 yards?
He's killing it. I've always been an Ingram fan, but biasly right now, I think it should be a Kamara show.
I think Kamara is the better running back, but they're both doing amazing right now, so it's whatever's working. Their offense is, I want to see so bad. I want to see them and the Eagles play right now, so bad. I feel like it'd be such a good game to watch right now.
That'd be sick. But if I were to say something, I think you guys' running backs might equal out. I think James White's snap count has went down ever since Rex Burkhead has came back.
Yeah, and Deion Lewis being the main back there now instead of Gillislee.
Yeah, Gillislee was a healthy scratch.
Means that even Lewis can catch passes now too. But I still do like James White. He's a good player.
I like James White too. He's a great player, but I think
he's just splitting time with more guys now. So
I think Burkhead has a little bit more versatility than James White does.
I feel like Burkhead's a lot better at lining up in the slot and stuff. White has those patterns from the backfield, he's the best in the league at that. But I think Burkhead's really good if you rotate a guy out in the slot on the play.
I think that's what's going to be a major thing. So I'm not sure if James White's still going to have PPR value, but it's not like how it was 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably.
But if you look, Jerick McKinnon has more PPR value, in my opinion, than James White. I think he's on one of the hottest offenses right now.
Yeah, they don't look like they can be stopped at the moment.
Yeah, one of the.
Unfortunately, as a Lions fan, don't want them to keep winning. But
I don't know, man. I think the Rams is a sneaky game, but also Jared Goff has really only played bad defenses all year.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how good he plays because he's actually just been destroying teams the last like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, when you play the Giants and when you play the Cardinals and the 49ers. So
Yeah, that helps.
That helps.
Definitely helps.
But Crowell has been kind of like revitalizing his season, but Jacksonville's not that tough of a defense to run against, so
They're harder to pass against than they are to run against. So I'm assuming Cleveland's game plan is going to be run first, like
Yeah.
it should be always.
So I think it evens out. Looking towards receivers here, I think Brown and Cooks really hasn't done much touchdown-wise this year. He's been almost essentially Michael Thomas for
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Patriots.
That's a good comparison. They play the same way, probably.
Yeah.
Similar.
Crazy, they're on the same team.
They were, yeah.
Brown, you gotta worry about, especially with Thursday Night Football. But like how you said earlier with Roethlisberger being in there,
Yeah,
You can kinda keep that
the
in
thing
check.
that would destroy me with Brown is if you had like 15 catches and 300 yards, like 200
Yeah.
something yards, like and no touchdowns.
but he does that once a year, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, he does it more than once a year. He's matchup proof. He's the best
Yeah.
receiver in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Hopkins, though, with Savage, is getting targeted like 25% of the time or something.
He's still the top targeted guy in the game in the NFL. I'm sure. Last week he had in garbage time 5 straight passes go to him, and he caught all 5 of them at the very end of the game. Like he had an okay game, and he ended up with 8 catches, 111 yards. Like
That's all you really got to care about. at that
exactly,
point.
yeah, he's doing well.
Parker, I think, has been pretty consistent. He's not. I don't think he's had the year that everyone was hoping for.
Yeah,
But he's been a solid wide receiver 2, wide receiver
I
3.
feel like he hasn't had the year that people were expecting, but I don't think it's really his fault. I feel like that offense in general has been a lot
But
worse.
he's also been injured.
Yeah, he was hurt for like 3 weeks, and in the games he's played, he's had a lot of good catches, but their
He had
offense
that
struggled
sick
to score
catch.
touchdowns.
Well, yeah, look. Well, I guess you really even can't be mad at him because he's been injured and the offense
Yeah.
sucks. But every single game that Devontae Parker's played, except for Week 5, he's had more than 10 fantasy points.
And week 5, I'm pretty sure, is the one he got injured in the first quarter. So
Yeah. So he went 12, 21, 12, 1 where he got injured, missed 3 games, and then went 12 and 12.
So he's getting solid production.
I mean,
I'm happy with.
Solid wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Yeah, and
Right.
he's facing a pretty bad defense, I would say, this week. So
Yeah, Tampa Bay's been. I'm pretty sure that team gave up, but it's
Yeah.
hard for a team when they had their bye in Week 1.
yeah, and then all these bad things keep piling up and happening. Like Winston can't get healthy; he struggled, and then the suspension with Mike Evans constantly getting destroyed by teams.
Yeah.
They don't have much momentum.
Yeah, I mean, a bye would help him out right now and help
Oh, yeah.
reset the season.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I guess the NFL just does not care about player safety.
Hey,
They rather.
gotta work with what you got, I guess.
Yeah. Cooper has had an interesting year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Oh, yeah,
still
yeah.
really weird, like to expect what kind of production he's going to put up. There's certain games where if their offense plays really well, he'll get 5 catches or so, and one of them might be a long touchdown.
He has like a wide receiver 1 ceiling with a wide receiver 3 floor.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I would say for
Like-
Cooper.
He's not going to win you every week, but every once in a while he'll win you a week.
Yeah. Tight ends. Kelsey has literally the biggest dream matchup for a tight end.
Oh God, yeah.
Great tight end playing against the Giants.
Jeez.
I expect a 2-touchdown game from Kelsey.
I certainly hope so. It definitely lines up for one that he's going to perform well in, and he's played good against even good defenses. So unless they get out to a huge lead early and it's mostly running after that, then I would say Kelsey should have a pretty good game.
Flex though, I don't know if Hogan's gonna play.
Yeah,
I hope he does for my other team, but I think New England's going to hold him out and make sure he's healthy because he's arguably their best wide receiver. Let's be real.
He's their best red zone threat, like as a receiver outside of Gronk. Like as a tight end. He's definitely the guy that they'd like to throw to in the end zone when, like as a receiver.
They couldn't afford to have another receiver really go down on that offense or another thing, so they're probably going to hold him. They know they can make it pass.
Yeah, my guess is he won't play, but I picked up a few guys that I could slot in there possibly.
All right, I mean, Patrick finally has to pick up a new defense.
Finally.
49ers defense.
He actually might be really bold and keep the 49ers defense.
I mean, he's had 7 points the past 2 weeks. Our defensive scoring setting's trash, I'm going to be quite honest. I don't like it.
It's basically sacks and turnovers. If you don't get sacks and turnovers, no matter what, you're going to have a pretty poor week.
Yeah. All right, let's go to predictions for the win. I think that you're going to win.
I'm going to go with me also.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close, but I think I'm going to go with me. I feel like I deserve one after last week.
I think you have a great team. I mean, you beat me. But, like, I just think it's... Also, I think you had a pretty bad schedule. I also think you didn't manage your team as best as you could. So,
yeah.
I don't know how to really play it more simpler than that.
I can see that.
All right, next matchup.
We got Tyler and Zach. Looks like it's next.
That's actually is that Zach? No, that's Luke.
Oh, is that Luke? Beat you and better than you?
That's Luke.
Oh, that's Luke. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what those names are about, Luke. I think that might be just him trying to mess with Kyle.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, Luke, you got. Oh, I didn't expect to see so much buys hurt a team this late in the season, but
yeah, it's a weird week to have a bunch of buys for Tyler.
But you got something good going on for you. Josh McCown, T.Y. Hilton, Jermaine Kearse, and Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson's been really good this year. So.
He's got Phillip Rivers who can come in. That would be an interesting play. Last week, the Saints destroyed Buffalo, see if they bounce back. But it was mostly through the ground game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how well he's going to play.
Austin Eckler's kind of emerged as their Danny Woodhead.
Yeah, he's had a lot of catches.
Third down, but I don't think he's really going to be anything stand out. I wouldn't expect another two touchdown performance at all.
No, I feel like he would have more value this week if he wouldn't have fumbled that at the very end of the game and cost them that win. I feel like they're going to limit his touches probably because of that.
Yeah, I can see that. So, Rivers against Dalton. Is Denver even a good defense anymore?
I still think they're good, but they're not as good as they used to be. Aqib Talib looks old. When I watch him play, he's getting beat by speedy receivers now all the time, seems like. And
I think, there's been some major injuries as well.
Yeah, they've definitely had. And their linebacker core has got weaker over the past few years with them, a few of them leaving to go to other teams on big contracts for agency-wise. So.
But with that being said, I still don't think Andy Dalton is the answer here. Why can't someone just give Case Keenum a chance?
Oh, to play him for the week?
Dude, the guy throws 2 touchdowns like a week, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could be a good pickup this week. I might have to reconsider
why can't someone
pickup.
just give Case Keenum a chance? That's all I gotta say. But
maybe because the second that things go wrong, Bridgewater's coming in.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a whole lot of leash.
That's true. But yeah, I think quarterback comparison,
I'd rather play Rivers.
Rivers, I guess, will be better.
Yeah, I'd rather play Rivers than Dalton. Dalton, I don't think he's gonna have the great game.
Running backs, Duke Johnson's kind of cooled off from the beginning of the season, but Todd Gurley's Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley should have a pretty good game. He's had a lot of receiving yards recently, and not as many 100-yard rushing games.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's just because their offense has been really pass-heavy recently.
Latavius Murray's been okay. I think with how high-powered that offense is, they're almost like a light version of Ingram and Kamara. They're not as good.
Yeah.
But they're good enough to get it done because the receivers are just real good.
Yeah, they have great receivers. They have a good tight end. They have pretty
Yeah.
decent line play too. So
Drake, I think, is the better of the running backs.
yeah, I think it's pretty apparent now that he's going to get all the catches, like mostly, and
Yeah.
a lot of the rushes too. So
So, I mean, I can see there's arguments going both ways, but I think Ty Gurley has the difference-making power
yeah,
in the running back.
I'd rather have Tyler's running back this week.
Looking at receivers,
Currently, Tyler actually doesn't even have any receivers that you can put in, so he's definitely have to make some changes there.
drop Dan Bailey, drop Devers Deep.
I mean, he can put in.
drop LeGarrette Blount. He lost a shot.
You can put in Cohen as the flex, I guess, but he's still gonna have to pick up 2 guys to put in receiver spots.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Sanders is back. I think Sanders is one of the more talented wide receivers in the league. Yeah, I'll
He
tell you,
put on
saying
a,
it.
he put on a clinic the first half on that Sunday night
Like,
game.
the dude
He
just-
looked-
the
he
dude
looked
just
really
gets
nice.
open.
Yeah.
The dude just gets open. Cobb lost value once Rodgers went down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. He actually had a couple carries this past week. I wonder if they're gonna
I think they
do
could.
some
I
more
would see
trick
that.
plays, and because pretty much if Montgomery's out, all they got is Williams now. So I don't know. Maybe he gets a couple carries. Maybe he gets a reverse touchdown or something.
All in all, I don't like the receiver. It's a shame to say that the best receiver in either of these matchups is probably Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, that's it. Though. If Hilton wasn't on a bye, then I'd say Hilton is. But yeah, Sanders is probably better. But Gronk is probably even better than that.
Yeah, Gronk. Oh, he's out for Morris. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, hell, more.
Gronkowski's the better tight end. Let's be real. He's better than Winnens walking out there with a cane.
Yeah.
He still catches.
He still gets decent amount of catches, but first time we saw the passing offense without Elliott, and they struggled. So
They also didn't have their left tackle, but
true. Yeah. I mean, what, that guy have 6 sacks? That was insane.
the guy said he only had one move that didn't work. It's so
It'd be interesting to see if is Smith going to be okay for the next game.
That's one thing to monitor. If
Yeah.
Smith's out, I don't expect that left tackle to play again.
Yeah.
But if that was your second best left tackle, then what's your third?
Exactly.
He has to be somewhat better, I would imagine. I think overall, just looking at this, I think Luke has the better team.
Yeah, I think this week Luke's got a good chance of getting another win. A lot of buys for Tyler, so that would be pretty rough.
Looking at, so we had 2. We got 2. I'm sorry, my dad just came home.
2 wins. 2 wins.
You made me laugh.
2 wins for Luke.
How did I make you laugh? I was just walking downstairs.
Yeah, you like looked over. You're like, oh, what's he talking about?
What kind of reporter are you?
That's our insider right there. That's where we get all of our insider information.
That's pretty good. Alright, let's go to the next one.
You guys catch today's news then, or what?
Well, Tyrod Taylor?
No, forget that. That's garbage.
What's the big insider news?
Ezekiel Elliott,
Oh yeah, he dropped. Zeke's now just
Yeah, he's taking a suspension.
he's done. All right, so what would you do if you had him on your team? Would you hold him, or would you just cut him?
you drop him.
Why?
He's not coming back until
The last game of the season.
If you have a chance to make playoffs, you keep him.
If you got a chance to make playoffs,
You stash him. You play him for that last
I don't
week in the
play him
final.
I don't think
Last
he'll be
week.
back.
he'd be back for Seattle on Christmas Eve.
Championship week in most leagues, so I think I would stash him still.
I would stash him too.
I don't think I would stash him.
All right.
It
See-
depends.
We'll see what Vaughn does.
It depends on where I am in the league.
Yeah. Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
If I was Ross, I would be like, yeah, I'll stash him.
If you're Vaughn, what do you do? 'Cause Vaughn's the one who's got him. He's fighting for that
So just running.
7th and 8th spot.
Let's do Vaughn's matchup, and then we can talk about
All
it.
right. Next up, we got
Finally gets
Autumn.
Autumn. Autumn running a 1-game win streak here.
Hey, Autumn's done a pretty good job actually, like reestablishing her team and making it somewhat like competitive with having
Kudos to you, Autumn.
Odell Beckham come out and stuff. Like,
You kept up with the league. You set your lineup each week. You did a lot more than what other people in the league have done in the past.
yeah.
So-
and
I kudos to you.
Yeah.
Like that's all I gotta say. A lot of people would have dropped out.
and
by
honestly,
now.
what she's done has put her in a chance where she could actually nick that 8th spot
That would be
if she got a couple wins in the end of the year. You never know.
Autumn for the league championship.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Upsets Ross in week 1.
Oh
After
my
all
god,
those trades.
that'd be insane. I would never let Ross. Ross, I'm telling you right now, if if that scenario did come and you lost to like the 8th seed, I would buy you a regular season trophy.
All right, so we got Derek Carr for Vaughn right now against New England. What do you think of that matchup? Probably be down, have to pass a lot.
Yeah, but I think what I said earlier in the season has came to fruition. New England's defense is back. Like
They have gotten a lot better.
it wasn't a trend that was going to continue. They figured that stuff out. They're not like other teams where like they just let it happen to them each week.
Yeah.
New England figures out what's the problem and they correct it.
I still feel like he'll have a decent game because
2 touchdowns.
I mean, he's played well at home this year. If you look at Carr's stats,
But this isn't at home. This is in New Mexico.
oh, that's right, I forgot about that. Well,
Yeah.
that's basically home for Raiders fans. Like, you kidding me?
Yeah, they're in New Mexico.
I'm
and
sure it's going to be heavy supporting of the Raiders.
New England's
With how
been
close they are to Cali.
New England's been in Denver for about a week, or they'll be in Denver. They've been in Denver for 2 weeks to get used to the altitude.
Who has?
New England. So
New
New England
England?
played Denver on
Oh.
Sunday night, and they stood in Denver. So
Okay.
they got used to the altitude because Denver's at 6,000, while New Mexico City is at 8,000.
All right.
So that could be something to
Yeah,
Be
I mean,
interesting
definitely
about
could factor into things.
see how that plays. I mean, 8,000 feet's hard to be wearing pads and be over 200
Yeah, there'll
pounds.
probably be a few guys who come out more than normal.
Yeah.
For being tired and stuff. So, Breeze, on the other hand, has been great.
But
recently.
it's almost like, is that a running team now?
I mean, they are a running team now, it seems like. But he's still putting up decent points because he'll get a couple touchdowns here and there.
Yeah.
Like, I still back Breeze as a good fantasy quarterback.
No, you can't sit him unless you have Alex Smith as your backup.
True. Playing the Giants, I think that actually might be a better play this week.
Wait, does she have Alex?
She does.
I know, that's why I said that.
It's Alex Smith.
So that would be definitely something interesting. Looking at running backs, I think Jay Ajayi is a good start for considering that.
I mean, they're going up against Dallas, who they've played decent against the run recently, but the Philly's been insane.
Philly's a great offense, and they brought him in to use him in that situation. And Jordan Howard is just going to run.
I mean, we saw what Cleveland did against the Lions. They pounded it down their throat. That's what Chicago's going to try to do, I'm guessing. So
Yeah. Lynch might get a goal line punch. I don't expect him to do much other than that.
yeah, I don't see this being a great game for him.
Gio should be getting more reps out of Hills on the IR.
Hills in there, okay. I still think Mixon's the main guy there. He'll get most of the touches, but I mean, it's not a bad play because he could get a few catches and always break one for a touchdown.
Overall, I think Vaughn has the better running back,
I'd say Vaughn is the better running back
even
this
with
week for
Zeke
sure.
out.
Yeah.
Go
to receivers.
Receivers. Lee's been really good. Like he's
turned into the number one option there. Bortles likes throwing to him, and he's been catching the touchdowns. The last 2 weeks he's gotten one and like almost 90 yards. So
if Jackson booms, he's gonna boom. If he busts, and
I think he has a decent chance to boom this week. Miami's defense, we saw how terrible they were on Monday night. So
yeah,
they've been really bad lately.
yeah. I mean, they gave up a lot of yards.
Yeah, somehow they gave me like the miracle chance to almost win with Newton putting up 45, but
I wish he would
so
have
close,
won.
so close.
I wish he would have won.
I wasn't even watching. I didn't even think I had a chance. I was like, oh, it's like a miracle dream. There's no way. I looked late at night and I lost by point like 1-8, and I was like, what? Dang it. Alright, but I would say even with Lee and Jackson, I'd say Vaughn has the better receivers. He's just got like great talent across the board. Mike Evans is coming back this week. Landry's just a consistently good play. Can have a crazy game against the Giants.
It's PPR. He's going to catch 8 yards. The only thing with Landry that's ever concerned me when it came to PPR is that he doesn't catch a pass more like 5 yards out, it feels like.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of catches downfield, but he's gotten a touchdown late in the game.
Yeah.
A lot recently for garbage time. They throw it a lot to him, so. And Shepard has been really good recently too, so I can see why Vaughn's going with him.
Yeah, I think his receivers are great. I think Vaughn's team is pretty well rounded out. Just taking advantage of the waiver wire and
Yeah, Vaughn's one of those
Doing
teams that he had a lot of losses early that like were close and didn't really make sense, and now he's one of those teams where if he makes the playoffs, I could see him going on a run and possibly making it to like a final game.
Could be.
Because he has the team that any week they could put up 200 fantasy points. Like he's done it in the past.
Yeah. So, this receivers are good. Tight end, I think the tight ends are equal. Evan Ingram has been good, great. Probably, I think he's on the record for best rookie season ever by a tight end.
Yeah, he's been really good. Graham's been pretty good recently.
Graham revitalized his career. Like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Wilson's kind of learned how to push the passes to him in the end zone now. Like he kind of just
throw a fade.
kind of just throw a fade and just hope he goes up and grabs it above the safety who's shorter. So.
Yeah. Defense on the bye, got to pick up a D. If you're looking at flex, Stills is worse than Evans. Kickers, Prater. Lions kick field goals, so it's not that hard to figure out.
All in all, prediction time?
I think Vaughn got to win.
I think Vaughn wins also.
It's hard to imagine Autumn pulling off this upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's much credit as I like to give her for doing what she's done with her team and how bad it was after Odell got hurt. I don't see this one going any other way than Vaughn winning.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's the next one for you?
Next one, we got making roster moves. This is Zach.
1 against 2.
Ooh, we got the big boy who just lost his first game after selling his soul for a couple more superstars to try to get that title this year. Not get knocked out early.
That win.
Did it feel good?
It felt so good.
Felt so good to be down though.
It felt so good.
The undefeated. All right. Well, what do you think about this week? You think he's gonna stay with the trend of losing now, or do you think he's gonna bounce back and beat Zach, who can't stop winning apparently?
I think Zach's gonna win. I think Ross is gonna go on a 2-game losing streak.
Wow, that's big.
I mean, let's review the teams and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And you can see Stafford's going up against Chicago.
Yeah, Stafford normally struggles at Chicago. I wish I could say he's not going to struggle.
I think Tate's going to keep up and do a good performance. I think this is almost every single game for the Lions from now on. It's like a must-win.
Yeah, you're not going to catch the Vikings if you lose anymore.
And I think Chicago's easily beatable. Like, they're not.
Yeah, we should beat them. I think even if Stafford struggles, we should beat them.
But I think I can see Stafford throwing 3 touchdowns, 2 or 3. I mean, it's out of the realm. I mean, let's be real. Like, Stafford.
I mean, he could do that against any defense. So.
Yeah, Stafford's that type of quarterback. And that's the way the Lions offense runs.
On the other side, we got Goff this week, finally. Instead of Dak, he's going with Goff.
And I think both are bad plays.
Both Goff and Prescott, you think?
Both Goff and Prescott are bad plays.
Honestly, they both have pretty tough matchups. But on the other side, Minnesota did give up a bunch of pass yards last week to Washington and Kirk Cousins.
I think...
I was surprised with. That game I thought was going to be a little more defensive all around, but it was pretty high scoring for both teams.
Right now, I got the 3 worst okay, so Goff has put up quality fantasy points against nothing but bad defenses. San Francisco, Dallas hasn't been Dallas is average, they're average. Let's be real. Arizona, he put up 20. Then he played the Giants and Houston, who's been terrible since after their bye. But let's see, they played Washington earlier in the year. Goff put up 12 points. They played Seattle. Goff put up 7. And then they played Jacksonville, and Goff put up 11. Great defenses, Goff didn't show up. It's almost like he can't, he's pretty much pulling a Marcus Mariota. He's not showing up for the tough defenses, but if he plays a bad defense, he'll destroy them.
Okay.
So I think that, with that being said, Goff is not going to do a good performance. And Prescott, we've already seen what happens. If Tyron Smith doesn't play, Philadelphia has a great defense.
Yeah. So they have the hardest team to pass against in the league right now.
Yeah, so I think both are if he plays this week. But I can't justify anything else. Like, you just got to roll with one of them.
Yeah.
Goff might have the bigger upside because it's going to be a more high-scoring game, but I don't think
I
great
think
either
I
way.
would still back Goff to play better this week than Stafford fantasy-wise.
I don't think
That's
so.
that's my personal
I think
opinion.
Stafford has more of an upside, in my opinion.
All right, on to running backs. DeMarco Murray's been good lately. He's had a couple touchdowns. He had, 3 last week
I think he's going to get 80 yards and a touchdown against the Steelers.
against the Steelers.
I think he's back, he's healthy.
All right, I mean,
That's why I dropped Henry.
yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
I don't need him for keeper value, and
true. You got other guys.
and Murray's, back, like, so he doesn't have much value to me anymore. And C.J. Anderson, not much to see there.
I mean, he looked all right in the first half against New England when they were actually in the game, kind of still.
Yeah,
I mean, the special teams ruined that game. Like, Denver was in it without the special teams for the first half, but after that, they couldn't run the ball or pass it. It was just the game was just over.
yeah. I think the best running back overall, though, in this matchup is Leonard Fournette. I don't think Gordon's going to come back and do it. I think there's something bothering him, and the team isn't saying it, because he hasn't really been overall outstanding, in a while. I feel like he's kind of been, after
Yeah, even
Oakland,
if you look at the one, the crazy game, against Jacksonville, right, was it?
yeah.
Or no, who was it that they played?
New England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a long touchdown run, which
And
saved
then
his week.
nothing
That was
after.
it. That was about it.
So that's why I'm saying,
Him and Fournette both struggled last week, so we'll see if one of them comes
I think Fournette steps back. I don't think, Cleveland, they lost Collins, right?
They did, yeah.
And he's been a major part of that run defense. So I think Fournette bounces back. That's my insight on that. That's all. I just think Fournette bounces back.
All right.
Wide receivers,
Both of them have pretty good receivers, actually. I'd say Tate, even with Stafford, if he struggles, I think would have a lot of catches. Could have a good
he's
game.
been unreal the past couple
Thomas,
games.
I don't know. Thomas is iffy because it almost seems like he hasn't been what people thought he could be since 3 years ago, when he was amazing with Peyton Manning, and even before that, he had Tim Tebow throwing passes and he was breaking them for long touchdowns.
Now it's Osweiler,
I feel like he almost
excellent.
is switching it off. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he puts in the same effort as he used to.
I think his game revolves really well around Emmanuel Sanders too. I don't believe in that narrative when it comes to him. If Sanders plays and does pretty good, Thomas usually does pretty good. And it's a weird thing, that they kind of Thomas needs Sanders to perform, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's just how I see it. But we got AJ Green and you got Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
When you sell your soul, your next year.
Michael Thomas has been good. He has been consistently pretty good the whole year, but recently he's been even better. AJ Green broke out last week with a huge touchdown after his fight. I don't know what he'll be able to do against Denver. We'll see if Denver's defense is a fraud now, or if they can cover AJ Green.
I wonder if Andy Dalton can do what he can do. That's my concern. I don't. It's not.
Yeah, AJ Green's he's a great player.
AJ Green's going to get open.
It's always been, can Andy Dalton get him the ball when he is open?
Definitely be interesting. Kupp's literally probably one of the most red zone targeted wide receivers in the league right now.
He's a really good bit. Also on the other side, the same team, Robert Woods has been.
Robert Woods is literally legit. He's good. You wouldn't think, throwing these little duck passes, you can break out for 80 yards, but Woods has been doing it.
Yeah.
I think I can see Woods putting up another good game. He's not stopping, in my opinion.
I can definitely see him having another good game.
And then you have Ted Ginn. He's alright. I think the receivers lean a little bit in Ross's favor, but it's not enough to be whoa, in my opinion. AJ Green can have a 20-point game. He can have an 8-point game. It's literally that.
To me, the receivers lean in Ross's favor a little bit, which is saying something, because coming into the year, I don't think Zach's receivers were all that great, but he really has formed a pretty nice receiving core. But I still believe that Ross's running backs will win in this game against
Yeah,
comparatively to Zach's running
He has
backs.
Ertz back. Thompson's a great
And Ertz as
PPR.
well.
Zorlane, I think, is one of the. I mean, he's a great kicker, dude. He's been
High scoring offense. He can make it from 50.
He's on
So
pace to break the NFL record for most field goals in a year. Like, he's on pace for 55, I think. He's been putting up constant points. And the Ravens got a good they got a good matchup now going against Green Bay.
all right. So you changing your mind on your prediction?
I'm not.
You're still going with Zach.
I'm not. I'm going with Zach because there will be some insane reason that Zach wins. Zach will have DeMarco Murray will get 2 touchdowns and like 140 yards or something. Like it will be something like that. Zach gets lucky.
All right. I'm gonna go with Ross. I don't think he's gonna lose 2 in a row. I think his team's just a little bit better than Zach's. Zach's team looks pretty good actually right now, like comparatively to the rest of the league. But
Yeah.
I still think Ross's team's better and it'll win.
What do we have next?
We got Kyle and John in the 3-7 matchup. Kyle basically was giving up on the season, sold his team away to Ross.
Kudos, dude.
Picked up some decent trade value for next year. Could have a pretty good team if he doesn't ruin his picks by drafting Galladay or some shit.
I mean, if this was like anyone else in the league, I would probably be like, yeah, that was a good trade. But I don't know if Kyle's good. Kyle, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
I don't see Kyle.
I can see you using the picks in good value, but I think also see there's a way bigger chance of you using the picks in least amount of value. You could totally pull like a Cleveland Browns or something.
See, I feel like Kyle, he'll make good choices with like the high level picks.
Yeah.
But the low level picks, he always reaches too far on guys who he think will break out, or like for some weird reason he'll take a guy and it'll just completely ruin the rest of his team. Kind of.
Kyle you can like literally set your team up to have great success next year. Like you just gotta be smart. Like you gotta have your first 2 seconds, your third, your fourth, and 2 fifths, and it depends on what you even want to keep. You can keep someone in the late rounds if you want. Like that would be something. Like 1 second, let me look at your team.
Big ups to you, Kyle. You got Doug Martin, who was drafted fairly late, right, because of the suspension. You could always keep a guy like that.
Dude, you keep Funches, and you keep
Funches.
I guess Galladay. I mean, I don't know, but like Funches is a great keeper because Funches is going to be the number 1 receiver.
Carson Wentz was a really low draft pick.
Yeah. That's 2 right there. You got your quarterback for next year.
And you don't need to draft a quarterback with all those crazy picks. You set yourself up for a really good year next year, and it was honestly probably the right call because I don't think you were going to win this year.
I think it was great. I mean, I think it's a possible win-win in both scenarios. If Ross wins the championship, then Ross, you did what you wanted. Like that's what it is. You did what you wanted. You won the championship. You got your glory, but you might have also put yourself down for next year.
Possibly.
But Kyle, you set yourself up for a great next year, and hopefully that can be something you can hang your hat on. But if you don't win the ship, then at least you gave it your best shot. That's all you can say.
All right, on to the actual game this week.
Yeah.
We got Kyle's depleted team taking on John, who just lost to Autumn, I believe, right?
I love the quarterback pickup. That's what I'm talking about. Jay Cutler. Let's do it, dude.
Jay Cutler.
Let's do it. Like someone has to play him. He throws touchdowns.
John's team is better than 3-7.
Yeah, he's been screwed by matchups a lot.
If you look at just the actual team, player by player, his team is way better than 3-7.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably similar to mine with like the 5-5 at least kind of feel, but like if we did better, we could have been better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. But
running backs, John has a better matchup. McCoy and Lewis can outperform Martin, who's on like a dumpster fire of a team right now.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Allen is probably going to lose his spot to like 3 other running backs. Like there's Woodhead, Terrence West, and Alex Collins.
Collins has been the best out of everyone, so I don't know why they wouldn't give him more touches.
I don't think Buck Allen's going to be there. So McCoy, it just depends on if Sean, who's the rookie quarterback? Buffalo.
Oh, Perriman?
Perriman. It just depends if he can.
Nathan Perriman.
Nathan Perriman.
Yeah, weird benching of Tyrod out of nowhere. What other winning team, right? Buffalo?
Yeah, they're playing for a wild card.
I mean, yeah, they got destroyed last week by New Orleans, but everyone's getting destroyed by New Orleans. I feel like it was like a...
You can't
A
blame
weird
Tyrod for not being able to move the ball if the New Orleans Saints can run the ball on you 26 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean...
You're not getting the ball back.
The game was lost well before halftime even, so it's...
You can't blame Tyrod for that.
I feel like they kind of gave him
I think Tyrod's a
crap
great
draw out
quarterback.
of that, yeah.
I think Tyrod's a great quarterback. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, if Tyrod was, like, the quarterback for...
If I was... Oh, the trade deadline is done, isn't it? Damn.
I'm trying to think.
It's too bad they didn't do this earlier, because if I was the Texans and I saw that they had done this, I would have given up something for Tyrod now that Watson's hurt, and that team becomes a whole lot better.
I think Tyrod, if he went to Jacksonville, like, that's a great team. That's a wild card team
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, that's a team that I think is probably going to win that division.
Yeah,
honestly.
I
think they're better than Tennessee.
I think Tennessee shouldn't be 6-3, but
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor. I mean, if you put him on Jacksonville, they would win. They probably would have squeaked out some more games than what they have. I think he's a great quarterback. I just think the Buffalo Bills organization doesn't like him.
Coming to receiver, we got on John's side some pretty good ones with Dez, Larry Fitzgerald, and Keenan Allen, who all three of them have been a little bit disappointing recently, but maybe not Larry. Larry's been pretty good.
Larry hasn't played good away from home, and plus he has Blaine Gabbert now throwing the ball. Like,
It's tough for him.
if you look at, like, look at this, away against home.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely noticeable.
He
He's
can't.
definitely a lot better at
He
home.
does not play good when he's away. He does not. Like, it's as simple as that. It's almost like, but you can't bench him. But I think the smart. I know, like, you can't, but I think you should. Like, that's what I'm gonna say. I think you should. I think Corey Davis has more of an upside.
I still think I would go with Larry this week because Houston's defense has been way worse than the Steelers.
Okay.
But for future weeks, it's a possibility that I can see. For sure.
Yeah. Looking at the other side, Matthews can do something.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some okay receiver options, but I feel like even with John's performing somewhat worse than expected, they'll probably still outperform Kyle's,
Yeah.
if I was to guess.
Hopefully Delaney Walker plays.
Yeah, I mean, Delaney Walker, does he even have a touchdown still this year?
Yeah, he does. He got. I remember specifically because he got it on a sweeping play from on the end zone.
Oh, was it a run?
Yeah, it was a rush.
Right, so he doesn't have a touchdown catch.
It was a rush. I remember watching it. I was like, that was ridiculous.
That's strange for him. They just haven't been targeting him in the red zone this
Kenny
year.
Galladay, he's back, baby.
I mean, he looked good on that catch he had, but he really only played like 20% of the possession snaps that we had. I
He's
think when
back.
I looked it up. Hopefully we work him in more. I mean, he definitely looks good when we give him the ball, but
Yeah.
he can only do so much if he's only out there for so much.
Who do you think wins?
I think John wins.
I think Kyle wins. I think John is just unlucky, and there'll be something that'll just happen to him. He's right. Like, existence is pain. He's had a really rough season.
Yeah,
And-
another tough season for him.
So I think Kyle wins in some stupid fashion. Like, oh, that will only happen one time, and that's because Kyle ended up benching Kenny Galladay at the last minute to play Travis Benjamin, who gets 2 80-yard touchdowns. Like, it would be something dumb like that.
I feel like if John would have made the trade that Kyle made with Ross, he would be in like crazy good shape next year. With possibly Watson coming back as a keeper too, that would have been insane.
Yeah.
So it was smart from Kyle to pull the trigger when he did. I think.
I think it was a great trade overall. I mean, I think I can see both sides of the argument.
And then we got the last game of the week. We got the 8-2 should be 7-3. The real Slim Brady and Brian's Kamehameha after taking down the undefeated league leader in the.
That's what happens. I went Super Saiyan God on you, fucker.
All right,
Think
so
you can beat me?
we're looking this week.
2-time league champion. Think you can beat me, Ross?
Talk mad shit, Brian. Talk your shit.
I'm talking my shit.
All right, so this week we got Brady again.
And you did the trade against me.
Brady from Heather. Brady for Heather. And you got Wilson. What do you think your matchup compared to
I think
Brady?
it evens out. I kind of have a feeling that Brady's going to step up his game now that they're post bye. I think this is going to be the story now. You know, he was playing good, but I can see Brady throwing for 3 touchdowns a game the rest of the season.
It's kind of crazy when Brady's not looked at as having a great year, but at the bye week after 8 games, after half of the season, he had 2,500 yards and 16 touchdowns and 2 picks. He was on pace for 5,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
Brady's going to step it up.
That's an MVP year, and people weren't even talking about it.
Brady stepped, and he's like 40 years old, man.
He can play till whenever he wants, pretty much.
Brady's going to step it up for the rest of the year. I'm fully confident that Brady's going to have a great rest of the season, but I think Wilson can match it.
I feel like at running back, your guys have been kind of carrying you recently, especially Kamara.
Kamara has been a great asset for me. He's been great, man. He's definitely been a top 5 PPR running back, which is crazy because Mark Ingram's probably been top 3.
Would you give up your running backs for Heather's, knowing she has Bell, just for a one-off game?
I don't think I would. Just because I think both Hunt and Kamara have more value than one single Bell. Like, if that makes sense.
And I don't think Miller is really that much anymore.
No, I don't think so. I think he just really had a great season because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But I think Hunt is going to get reworked into the offense. He was kind of getting used strangely by Andy Reid.
People were starting to spotlight him, and then they kind of were like, all right, well, we'll just pass it on you then. And then it worked at some points, and then it didn't work. I feel like they're much better as a team when they build off the run.
Yeah, I think so as well. And it's not like Hunt hasn't been great. It's Andy Reid just not working him. It's like super weird. Like they run him to I remember watching the Dallas game when he wasn't getting worked at all, and then it's like first play of the second half. He breaks free for a 15-yard run and stiff arms the linebacker down. And I'm like, okay, they're going to use him. And then they just don't use him again for the rest of the game. I think having this late of a bye can give Andy Reid a time to reset, look at the offense. Because it's not like Kansas City's been this great a team like how they were at the beginning of the year.
Andy Reid is actually statistically the best coach in the history of the game coming off bye.
There you
He
go.
has the best win percentage of any coach ever coming off bye.
So let's hope for Kareem Hunt to step it up for me. I'm looking forward to that. And Kamara, dude, he's insane. He was it 7 yards per carry, and he gets
the dude's just electric.
He's so good. He's so good.
He gets first downs easy, for fun.
Yeah.
They'll just do a dump off pass to him, and they'll get an easy 10. So
it's like they bring Ingram up the middle and they run Kamara to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
If
you're looking at receivers, I still think there's something a little bit up with Julio, which is crazy because he's still so good.
I think he's always something up with Julio. He's like Calvin. Dude.
He's like Calvin. I think if he wasn't dinged up, it's insane how good he would be. I think,
mm-hmm. But he's always dinged up, and he will always ever be dinged up.
Yeah.
But I'm actually at a decision here this week when it comes to wide receivers. I actually did not know what to do right now. I'm still kind of thinking about it. And it's really, I think it comes down to Crabtree or Juju.
Yeah, Juju's been pretty good too. He got a touchdown last week, and their comeback win. So
if Juju didn't get that touchdown last week, this decision would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But now it's do I play Juju on Thursday Night Football or do I play Crabtree? That's where I'm kind of lost at because it's not like Crabtree's bad. Crabtree's good.
Yeah. I
almost am kind of leaning towards Juju, even though I have Crabtree in. I think Juju has the wide receiver 2 spot.
You have a plethora of really good receiving options to do with. You have 4 spots, and you have 6 good receivers. So you basically get to pick and choose which one do you want.
Yeah.
Which sometimes could be an issue, but it's better to have it than not.
I like having 3 players on Monday Night Football, though. That's going to suck for Heather, even though she has Tevin Coleman, who's going to probably be pretty good considering Devontae Freeman's not going to be there.
She'll be all right. She dealt with that this week, and she'll win by like 0.2.
Yeah. Tight end wise, Jared Cook I think is going to play better than Cameron Brate. I'm just going to say it. That trade for Cameron Brate, I was pretty excited, but Tampa Bay's offense as a whole has been
I thought
good.
the trade for Brate was going to be good at the time as well, but he has struggled basically since you made the trade.
I know.
He was doing pretty well. You made the trade, and ever since that, the entire team's been pretty poor, and he's been struggling. So.
Yeah. So now I'm looking forward to Greg Olson's return into the offense. I probably will start Brate one more time just to see how it goes. But other than that, I'm good. I think Jared Cook has the better advantage.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he's been pretty good lately. He got a lot of yards.
Kicker-wise, Patrick Murray.
Coleman, if Freeman doesn't play, is a really great play. He's a good play even when Freeman plays, but without him, he's the only guy that's going to get touches there. And
yeah.
I think it's a good one against Seattle, who's kind of banged up.
All right, well, kicker-wise, I got Jake Elliott. It's me! And Patrick Murray, don't play Tampa Bay kicker.
Yeah, exactly. If you had to pick Thielen or Diggs every week, which one do
Thielen.
you like Thielen as he's a better receiver?
I don't think Thielen's
Fantasy-wise.
fantasy-wise Thielen is a better receiver than Diggs. Let's be real. Like Thielen gets the second. Thielen is essentially a wide receiver one. Like, do you think if Thielen was on the Lions, he would be? I think he would probably play over Marvin Jones.
All right, here we go. Thielen versus Jordy Nelson. Who's the best white receiver in football now that people have seen Jordy without good Lord Aaron Rodgers passing him the ball?
That's hard, dude. I feel like
I think Thielen's better.
I feel like Thielen is better. All right, what team? If Thielen went to the Jaguars, would he be the number one receiver?
Oh yeah.
If Thielen
No
went
doubt.
to
There's a lot of teams he'd be. Honestly,
Rams,
he might be the number one receiver on the Vikings.
yeah,
He's getting the most targets.
If
recently.
Thielen went to the Rams,
yeah.
would he be better? Would he be better than Watkins?
Oh God, yeah. Watkins. I dropped Watkins. He's getting like less than 2 targets a game in the last 5 games.
Yeah, Thielen's good. Like that's all we gotta say. But I do think Diggs has his value as well.
Yes, they're both really good receivers. I was just, putting hypotheticals
I
out
like
there.
that. I mean, I
Just
played
trying
it.
to talk some shit.
I played it.
some crap about Jordy Nelson.
All right, that's cool. So who do you think wins?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think you're gonna win coming off your win last week, and also the football gods might give Heather a little bit of a loss, because of the injury giving her the win last week.
I think my team's riding a really big high, and I'm not saying this biasly. I just think my team for the past 3 weeks has put up over 135 points, I think, each week, and they've been just real consistent, really at it. They've just been piling up points, even like when Cameron Brate for 2 weeks straight has put up 2 points for me, I put up 130.
The crazy thing is, all right, now if we're comparing teams, I look at Ross's team now after the trade, and he was 9-0 after that. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
He was 9-0 before you beat him. So we got
Who do you think's gonna
You
win?
want to say hi?
Who do you think's gonna win? Me or Heather? That was me. He said me.
All right, so you got Ross's team, who's made all these crazy trades after starting 9-0.
Yeah.
And you haven't done a single one of the trades except for the tight end, who has been struggling.
I did Julio.
Oh, that's right. You made the Julio trade, but you didn't have to give up a future pick.
No, I haven't gave up any.
So
picks.
without having to sell your team, I think your team is comparatively like right there with Ross's team, without having to give up possibility of next year, and that's pretty scary for Ross now, I would say.
Because I set myself up for next year.
Because if Ross doesn't win this year, he's got a lot of pressure on his back because he's not going to win it next year without those picks.
I agree.
So we'll see how it plays out, but I don't know.
Well, that's the end of the episode. I like that thought, personally for me, because blow up my ego a little bit more. But I think we would have a good shot.
He's trying to blow up the ego to the point where he loses it a little and then like starts misplaying players.
Well, see, the thing is, like, whenever I come off from a loss, I get upset. And then I make sure my lineup's set up correctly.
Exactly.
So, that's the end of the episode, guys.
Got you guys next week. Hopefully Vaughn's back with us.
Yeah, good luck this week, unless you're Heather or
Patty.
Patty. There we go. See ya.